Hey, Kerree.
Now I can hear you. I was like, I
Yeah,
can't hear anything.
I'm running a little behind. We don't have any viewers on yet, but they'll be on in just a second. I'm waiting on Ralph to join. I had some technical difficulties.
Okay.
Uh, let's see here. I didn't even have time to share it yet. Yeah.
This would be easier if I could do it on my computer.
Yeah. You couldn't do it from your computer?
Well, you text the thing to me.
You want me to send it to you on Messenger?
Yeah, see if I can do it that way.
All right, let me see. I probably can while we're waiting for people to get on. So we had a couple people hop on already. Um, let's see. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm trying to open my web page and already had it open.
You need me?
Let's see. All right, still waiting for Ralph to hop on. I don't know. I think I texted to him too. He's probably having to forward it to himself because I was running behind. Um, let's see. There it is. Let me know if you got it. All right. So Ralph is on now.
Hello, hello.
Hey, so Kerree's just hopping off. I think she's going to try to connect to her computer.
Yeah, it still hasn't sent it to my messenger yet.
All right, let me try one more time.
I mean, she's on now.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
on her phone. She was going to try
On
to do
my
it on her
phone.
computer.
Gotcha.
Oh, it won't go through. What in the world? Oh, maybe this will do it. There you go.
Ah.
All right, so we got a few people hopped on. Hey, Jeff. So I haven't shared it any groups. If you want to do that, Ralph,
All right.
while she's getting set up, and I had some technical difficulty. Do that. All right, there we go. All right.
That's easier to deal with.
Yeah. I had to go to Panama City for to renew my captain's license stuff, so I got back late, and then all the technical stuff wanted to not work for me.
Damn. Where'd you start it at, Kenny, on blood trackers?
Yeah, American Blood Trackers. It's on several, but that'd be the easiest one to share. So we got a few more people hopping on. For those of you that are hopping on, give us just a few minutes. We're running a little behind, or I was running a little behind. I had some issues getting some stuff logged in. Evening, Perry. Perry, I probably won't be able to call you tonight, but I'll call you tomorrow and give you an update on Gibson. He's doing awesome. Howdy, Dustin. All right, let's see. So, Kerree, you been staying busy?
Yeah. I feel like I'm going right now. I just got back from Montgomery.
I know that feeling. And then you'll be going again in about a week.
Yep. So I'll have these 2 events we have coming up, and then in June I'm going to Louisiana to another dog show.
Nice.
And we've got some other ones that we're gonna do too.
So I guess we'll go ahead and get started while Ralph's doing that. Kerree, you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself? You know, your background with the dogs and all that.
So last year was my 9th season having my own dogs. Before that, we just went and borrowed a buddy's dog. I started out with bloodhounds, and I started on lead. And I always told Kenny, I was like, I'll never be off leash. I'll never do that. I'm not gonna, I was always worried about my dogs getting hurt or shot or something. But man, I went off leash, and I will never track on leash again. Now I have my bloodhound. Yeah, that's the way to go. It's a lot better than being drug around by an 80-pound dog.
You ain't kidding.
And I can use multiple dogs now if I need to. So I have my bloodhound, and then I have black and tan coonhounds that I use.
Yeah, I remember when you got your bloodhound. What you said, 9? Was it 9 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and
he's almost 10.
Yeah.
I had a lab before that, but
yeah, I remember.
Labs just weren't for me. They're great dogs, and my husband owns one, but I like the more laid back dogs.
Yeah, laid back and bloodhound. I don't know laid back and bloodhound goes together.
Mine aren't crazy.
That's because you're a little crazier than they are, so you don't see it.
Probably so.
So you've been tracking for the public for 9 years, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before that, it was just for ourselves or for friends.
Yep. And where are you located?
I am
in. The other people may not.
I'm in Milton. We're north of Pensacola. I'm only like 30 miles from Brewton, Alabama.
Gotcha. So you track in Florida and Alabama.
Yep.
So you want to tell everyone what you do for the association?
So I'm the judge coordinator. If you are interested in being a judge or you want to be a judge, you get in touch with me, and I'll get you set up to take your test and get you to run some mock lines and send them in to me. And then, of course, everybody has to be approved by our committee before you get to be a judge or apprentice or anything like that. So it is a little bit of a process, but it's worth it.
Yeah, and it's not a terrible process. I mean,
no,
especially some of the stuff I've been through. This is a breeze.
Yep, and if you need help, we can find somebody in your area that you can get up with, and they'll help you as well.
That's right. So speaking of that, Walker Knight had a question. If I sign up for a test, do I have to provide the test location? I can answer that. It's best just to put your location. If it's going to be at an event, it'll actually ask you a question as to whether it's at an event, and you have an opportunity to respond with that. But if not, just put your address, and someone will get back with you with what judge is in your area that they'll assign you to, and we'll get it set up. And he says that he also has a bloodhound. She'll be a year old this weekend.
So I have two of them. I have a male and a female. And my male turned out to be one of those iffy dogs. If he wants to do it, if he doesn't want to do it. But my female has been really consistent and very reliable.
You know, that's something I've noticed, and it can happen with any breed, but I see it more prevalent in bloodhounds. Is you get a lot of them that they're just so headstrong. It's if they want to do it or not.
Yeah, he all of a sudden just decided he didn't care to track, and he'll stay with me. And we've been in a base situation, and it was not far at all. And he used to be right in there, and now he's just like, I don't feel like going.
Yep. Yeah, I see that often with bloodhounds. But one thing that I want to key in on what you said, the dogs need to fit you and your lifestyle.
Absolutely.
That's key.
Yeah, I had a Lacey dog at one time, and they're really good at their job. They're really, really good tracking dogs, but it didn't fit me. It wasn't the dog for me. So he's with some really good friends of mine. Every now and then I'll grab him from them and take him on a track just so he can go. But he was just too much energy for me. But like I said, they're great dogs. They're really good at their job. Just not for me.
Yeah, I understand. No doubt. So, Coda Stewart, I don't know if you see it, says Kerree's dogs, they sing in the dog box.
I got to tone them. That's what happens when you tone my dogs. They start barking.
What if they're out in the field and you tone them?
They'll start barking out there, I guess.
Yeah, she's our finished track.
Another one of the animal distractions. I mean, in all honesty, how many times have we gone on a track and there have been dogs barking like crazy? I've gone to tracks and there have been I've been with some foxhounds or some deerhounds not far, and they go crazy because they hear noises and want to get out, but you got to be able to go through it.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
So Walker said he'll be signing up for a test sometime next month.
Where's Walker
at? I can't remember. Hang on, I'll tell you.
Which state do you live in, Walker?
I don't know what town he lives in. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. He's in Florida.
Oh, I got you. Brooker. I got you.
Yeah, Brooker. Yep. Yeah, I knew it was Florida. I just couldn't remember where.
Yep.
That's not over here by me. I don't know where that's at.
That's
down
not
around
too far from. Yeah, I was gonna say that's not too far from Cassidy.
Okay.
Really, not that far from any of us.
No, we go down there all the time. Just probably 20 minutes from Stark.
Yep, I tracked there a bunch over the years.
Need to stay away.
What's that, Ralph?
Said you need to stay away.
I have been. I've been passing him off to Mike Barron.
Yeah.
Trying to be stingy.
Not Ralph.
No, we just don't want Kenny around.
He doesn't want his people to see the greatness that flows out of my box.
Oh boy.
If you don't have waiters, you can be in Alabama this weekend and get you some.
Yeah.
Or next weekend, I mean.
Yeah.
So
It gets
speaking of
real
that,
deep
Ralph,
around
you
all
said
of
we
us.
currently have what? How many tests do we currently have signed up?
20 paid so far.
And I
then
know of at least.
Then we got a handful of people that say they're going, and so we're over
Yeah.
25 right now with people that say they're going to pay at the event. But
Yep.
probably need somebody to get a count of that so we can get, a better count of how many tracks we're going to be running, so we can get, because we're down to the wire on needing the judges and stuff. So figure out how many we need.
Yeah, I'll get mine signed up for Dakota, and since Stacy's not on here, my 2 dog trailers loaded up.
Oh no! You bring that to Mississippi.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably going to test some there as well. Here's a good question. And I want to bring this up because one thing I've seen over the years with testing dogs, I've seen a lot of leads cause dogs to fail.
I'm going to say the one that you gave us.
Good.
Yeah.
So by far, in my opinion, I'm going to say this, in my opinion, a stiff rock climbing rope lead is the best.
Yep.
Some people say biothane, and I know people like biothane, but I've seen it hang up too much. It cinches down. Some say, oh, they haven't done it. And one of them, he's not on here, Jason Byer, says, oh, no, it's the greatest thing. And then I watch him hang up constantly with it.
Yeah.
He'll give me some crap.
And
the best lead by far is an invisible lead.
Mm-hmm.
The Garmin.
Not handheld. That's the best lead.
Yeah. So the ones that we use.
And they work with little dogs too. They don't cause a problem at all.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Walker, I order my leads from Lion Country Supply. And if you shoot me a message, I can send you a link. But if you go on there with a bloodhound, I would use the bigger lead. So just put in, I think it's under check cord. And then for the smaller dogs, it'd be under puppy check cord. The smaller ones are 20 feet. The bigger ones you can get anywhere from 20 feet to 50 feet. But you'll see they have multiple colors too.
So he said he plans on starting to work her off lead this summer. He's just got to get a Garmin. With that, I would like to say, I'm sure I know you guys agree, 100% would have a Garmin, even if you are going to track on lead as well.
Absolutely.
It is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Something will happen at some point.
That's
and you will wish you had that on your dog.
And even if you're using a harness, I have seen dogs slip harnesses. I have personally had dogs slip harnesses.
Yep.
I have had my bloodhound get away from me when I was on leash and I didn't have a Garmin yet. And it was terrifying.
At the very minimum, have them collar condition and an e-collar on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's at a bare minimum. I'd rather see a tracking system, even working on lead.
Just got too much money invested in these things to shortcut it.
Yeah. Colby Garrett said no lead is the best lead, and Tommy said Bluetooth lead.
Yep.
So Joe Sellers asked, do you have multiple hunting licenses to track multiple states?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
I typically keep, I have a lifetime Florida license, and I get a Georgia and Alabama license every year.
Yep.
Perry Lawrence said he's set for 2 tests for him and 1 for his nephew. And honestly, I would not hesitate to test his nephew's dog on a season as well. He doesn't know that yet, but he does now, I guess. So Jeff said cheap insurance policy equals Garmin. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and honestly, they have options out there that aren't going to cost you $1,200. You could go with a Garmin 10. The handheld is what, you can find them $350-$400 brand new. And then get you a collar, or get with at one of our events or one of these vendors. You can find them online. You can get used systems at a reasonable price. You just have to watch these Facebook marketplace and group scams.
Yep.
Go with someone reputable.
Some of these guys that sell them also, I know I order from Outdoor Dog Supply, and they take PayPal, and you can get approved, and PayPal will let you make payments on it.
Right.
So that might be an option for some people that can't fork out all that money at one time. They could use PayPal and make payments on it.
Yep. That's right. So, yeah, like Jordan said, what's $1,200 for your dog? Most of us, even if you don't realize it, you're going to have more than that in your dog before it even steps foot on a track.
Ooh.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Don't forget, time is money.
Yeah. Might as well quit looking at how much stuff is, just get it, because
too much invested in these dogs.
Hey, that saves you from getting in trouble. You say, I don't know how much I paid for it.
Another thing to keep in mind is Garmin is they've discontinued some units, and they're not going to support them anymore, like your Alpha 100s, your TT15 collars, your mini collars. So if you're going to buy, go ahead and spend a little extra. And if you're on a budget, get the Garmin 10 with a TT25, they're still supporting the TT15X. I just don't know about how long. So I would go with, if you're on budget minded, a Garmin 10. The next step up, I wouldn't even look at the 200, to be honest with you. I have both the 200 and the 300.
Yep.
And the 300 is the way to go. The people are buying it, because it says 200i or 300i, because they think it's better because it's extra $50. The only difference with the eye is the in-reach service that most people doesn't use.
Yep. And it doesn't work unless you have a subscription.
Right.
You got to pay for that too, so it doesn't automatically work on your Garmin. You got to sign up for that in addition to.
That's right. Yeah. So, if you feel like maybe if you track in Colorado in the mountains, it might be a good option. But for most places that I track, I will never use the in-reach service. Nope. So you can save $50 and eliminate another thing that could go wrong on the unit. My 200 is the 200i because that was the only option when I got it. I got it when it first came out. And the 300 I got pretty much, Ralph and I got ours, I think, the day they were released.
Yep.
And we got just the regular 300 without the eye. And the battery life is much better than the 200.
Yeah. I can track for days without even running them down too hard. So it's awesome.
I've forgotten mine in the truck and forgot to turn it off, and it was good to go still.
I don't even, on the weekends, I used to have, it used to look like an electrical closet. So many wires and stuff connecting to I don't even take chargers anymore. They're that good. They stay on that much. So they're awesome.
Yeah, and the
same thing with the TT25 collar.
Yep.
That's what I've been using. Yeah. Same with that whole system, the 300 and the TT25s. Shoot, I don't even have to worry about charging much anymore.
I've had a lot of I have a lot of friends that run dogs, and they've had a lot of problems with the X collars just dying.
Yeah.
And just
And they're
not
supposed to have the
working.
most battery life.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't.
I want to go back, say something to Jeff Steele. I started working my dogs on the hold command. I was impressed with that. So I got Potter, the Catahoula. I'm working him on that. It's pretty cool.
I want to see you work camo on that on a track.
No. No, I don't. She ain't gonna listen.
So who controls that dog?
Camo.
Or who's in control of that relationship?
Camo. There's no doubt. There's
Here's
one
another
thing
Garmin
in mind.
thing.
One
Here's
thing
another
in
Garmin
mind when
thing
she
from
hits the
Tommy.
ground.
Yeah. Tommy said, for those of us that track in different states, the 200 and 300 allow you to download maps directly on the handheld. This allows you to connect it to your phone for internet download maps while putting collars on your dog.
Yeah.
So, and Tommy has shared videos in the group. If you're not a member of the American Blood Trackers group, go on there and join it. And Tommy will probably share those again. So I'm asking Tommy to share those again with the options of yes and yes.
And if you don't know what that means, call Kerree.
Yeah.
That is your only choices when Kenny asks you if you'll do something.
Yeah. So
if I want to just say, if anybody is planning on going to Alabama and you haven't signed up yet, please do so. It helps us know, multiple things, food, and especially if you're going to test a dog, we need to know ahead of time, and we're getting down to the last few days. So definitely let us know so we can plan, because we got to get we got to get rooms. We've got to get judges. We don't want to, it's going to be last minute anyway, but we don't want to be, really last minute, because it puts us in a scramble. So
that's right.
Let us know. And the easiest way is get on the website, AmericanBloodTrackers.org, and it gives you a menu of stuff to order as far as tests and stuff like that. And if you have any trouble, just give me a call and we'll get you on it. But please let us know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because it's getting close. Yeah, Jason Byer said, wish you could made it or make it. So
he's not
we can
going
throw
out
a party. We can throw a party now that he's not going to be there.
What?
It shows who's committed, Ralph.
So disappointing.
What, are we a week out and he ain't going?
Yeah, he's not
So
here. The end of this one.
disappointing. You'll let me down.
I better
Jason.
take it easy on him, because he's got to test some dogs for me here in the next couple of days. No, his wife had a medical procedure and she's having some complications, and he's having to work a lot too. So he called me yesterday and told me about it. Here's a question. Will I be able to put up a tent Thursday night? 11-hour drive. We want to get up there Thursday if we can. So she did say that we can set up tents and campers. The campground is not done yet, but we can bring tents and campers. So Jason says, sorry, I had to take care of my wife. Just bring her with you.
Huh?
No, that
You know it's like killing him.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
So Yeah, Kerree, it looks like you got to get some judges lined up.
Yep.
And
Gotta get
I,
with Stacy.
I don't know if you saw it. We have some judge applications coming in about daily now, so we are definitely growing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We've already got we already get a test in Iowa,
Ohio,
in Pennsylvania.
yep, Ohio,
Yeah, we've got quite a few states. It's awesome.
yeah. So, Billy Hodgson, I don't think he's on here right now. Let me see if I can add his picture. Billy has been he has been working on getting our lunch for Saturday. I know I have it. I know I have it on here. Or did I not save it? I will save it here in just a second then.
You send it to me so you can pull it off of me. My thing
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Because I want to share that. I'm going to do that now.
This is actually
Kerree, when do you plan on getting there?
I am going to be there on Thursday.
Nice.
Yep.
What time's everybody getting there? Or do you think y'all just leaving Thursday morning?
I was going to. Wes has to work on Thursday, so he's driving up Friday.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll be leaving.
He'll be there,
early
so we'll have to
Thursday.
give him stuff to do.
What'd you say, Kenny?
So I'll be leaving probably early Thursday, heading up there.
Yeah.
Is everybody really going to be there early enough, or should I wait? Because last time I was super early.
Yeah. All right. Here's our lunch for Saturday for the seminar.
Nice.
Billy has been working.
That's a lot of fun catching them cats.
Oh yeah. Yep. So
that's a lot of fish.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and he's got sides coming and everything, and I believe Tommy's going to help him cook the fish.
Heck yeah.
So, and Kerree's cooking dinner Thursday night.
I mean, if I need to, I'll figure something out.
If we want, I can bring a bunch of sausage we can cook out.
Yeah, and I can bring some burger. We got a bunch of burger.
So. Now, we're used to you bringing us exotic stuff.
Huh?
That sandhill crane was good.
Yeah, actually, I think I have some sandhill crane that I may cook down and make some tacos with for the judges.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell Wes
perks of being a judge at an event, you get some different stuff. So so Friday is testing, and I believe we're going to do my plan right now is do a little workshop on marketing your team, because we get a lot of people asking, especially new trackers, how do I get my name out there? So that's something we'll be doing Friday evening, because Saturday is going to be packed full of activities. We've got our actual seminar part is being condensed down to about an hour and a half. We're going to do a lot more. Oh, my phone or my watch is talking to me. We're going to do a lot more hands-on field work. We got a lot of good stuff. We got Randy Duvall is going to be doing some basic obedience workshop. Lyle Avis is going to be doing a hit site / wound bed analysis, and discussing proper wait times, not the Avis wait times. He's not on here, so I can pick on him again. And then what else we have? Oh, we have mock track tactics,
And
and some advanced mock track tactics.
And we haven't talked with each other, but me and Kerree, hopefully she's okay with it, gonna do the how to read your dog.
Yeah.
And,
I'm always game for whatever you need me to do.
yeah, they I think
She's used to being voluntold.
I don't mind it. I'm here for the ride.
I think you're good at reading your dog, and I love that part of it myself. So I think we'll have fun doing that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people.
She's a fun one to watch.
Yeah. And people just, I know you know it, but she'd even walking, judging, or walking behind the judge, watching everything. There's a lot of times I read a dog more so than the handler is. And you're sitting there,
Oh, yeah.
he just got it. Oh, and he's not recognizing it. Just little things. And every dog's different. I mean, even my two, good night, they're totally different in how they act and react when they hit it and when they get off. And one tactic doesn't work for everything. Actually, it's the total opposite. Every dog has its own little way. So we're going to set it up to where we can show them how a dog crosses the line, gets off the line, to where they can actually bring their dogs up and a little test and let them see what's going on. So I think it'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I like the splitting up in the groups and us doing hands-on workshops. I think people are really going to like that, and it's really going to, make us stand out.
Yeah, I don't like listening to Kenny for 3 or 4 hours anyway.
I feel the same way when I'm standing next to you listening. I agree, and it becomes, you go to enough of these events and it just becomes redundant.
Mm-hmm.
And even though, honestly, every time I prepare for an event and I prepare to speak, I learn something new while I'm preparing, because I'm just a research freak. And, I dig as deep as I can get and probably further than I need to. But every event I learn something, every single one of them. Even ones where we're just administering tests, I still learn something. But it does get redundant. And so we are thinking outside the box. We're doing things a little different. And, you can sit there speaking at these events, you can sit there and watch the audience participation and their attention span just go down the longer you sit. And I get antsy. I don't want to just sit there. So this is going to be fun. Coda asked a question, said, are we doing any testing on Saturday? We have to. Because some people can only attend on a Saturday. Some people can only attend on Friday or Sunday, but we are going to be organized and make sure that all the testing is done so that our judges can enjoy themselves and enjoy the event.
Yep.
We have to do that. I mean, these people work hard, and I know they want to participate. And I know how much it sucks being a judge and just work and not get to enjoy anything. We're going to have the field trials.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing we were going to do too, Kenny, is your equipment.
Yes.
For the track.
Yeah, tools for tracking.
Yep.
Not just what you carry in your backpack out in the field, but what you have in your vehicle.
We're going to have a truck there and everything just laid out on tailgates to where they can see how it can be set up. you know.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. The other thing, Ralph, is the handler certification
Yep.
workshop. And what that is about is, some people right now, certification is not required in some states. And then some people are like, hey, I got multiple dogs, I don't want to test all my dogs. I don't want to. So we just came up with the option of a handler certification as a starting point, and it's educational for ethical recovery of wounded game using dogs. And we'll incorporate that in with our seminar portion. So that's something else, and that's no additional cost.
Yep.
So
No, I
Kerree
think
can
it's
really use that.
I think it's going to be something we're gonna end up having to have anyways.
Yep. I think it's another one of those. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yep.
That's right. So, Kerree, are you testing any dogs?
Yes. I actually need to go ahead and sign up for a started test for my bloodhound too, because I've been focusing on the other dog. But I have a finish test to run with my little black and tan girl.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to assign myself to that one.
I'm gonna bring some earplugs. Take some Xanax.
John.
If my dog fails, it will be my fault, 100%. She's got it. I just need to stay out of her way.
And don't listen to Kenny.
Yep.
I didn't even have to say anything.
I know. But speaking of it, if people want to come and follow along, I don't mind. Anybody can come watch.
Yeah, and we've had people ask. There's a lot of people that has asked if they'll have an opportunity to follow along on test lines, and I know there's a lot of people that doesn't care if they do.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like you said, most of the time it's the people's nerves. Their dogs have it. Most of the time it's the people's nerves.
Yeah.
It's the dope on the end of the rope.
Yep.
For sure. For sure.
To me, it's not one of those two. It's not a matter of if you're going to have nerves. They're coming. It's just how do you handle it?
It's going to happen. You're going to get nervous. I don't care what anybody says. They can say they don't get nervous, but they get nervous.
Yeah, John experienced it when we took the dogs to UBT tested last week.
Mm-hmm.
I have never seen John stare at the ground looking for blood in tracks as much as he did, and it was nerves.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
it'll make you second guess things.
Yeah.
Even though you don't need to.
Yeah. And like on the UBT test, it states in the procedures that the wound bed cannot be within 10 yards of a 90-degree turn. Mm-hmm. The dog turns 90 degrees within 3 yards of the wound bed, and John just follows it off into Never Land. I'm like, what the heck is he doing? And then the whole time he's sitting there, I know you're not on it. And he's shaking his head. I know you're not on it. And just steadily follows the dog to a callback. So he gets 2 callbacks in the first 75 yards of the line and has to go 800 yards with no callbacks.
Ooh. I didn't even make it that far on my season test on the first one.
Yeah, you talk about nerves. I mean, if you're not nervous enough, I mean, obviously he was nervous. He made mistakes that he normally would never make.
Yep.
And
so he had all those
more tests, and he probably runs more tests than anybody.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And So, and my son has been laying blind tracks for him and judging him. You know, my son has stepped up a lot. And so if it wasn't bad enough, his nerves with getting 2 callbacks in the first 75 yards, imagine that pressure of knowing that you have to go another 800 yards flawless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And luckily, he finally just said, you know what? At this point, it is what it is. I'm going to follow the dog. The dog was right from the rip. He literally led that dog off the line 3 yards past the wound bed for a second callback. I'm like, ugh. So, like you said, John runs, probably at least 30 lines a week. At least. And he still got super nervous. So just keep that in mind. Just, Brant Green, I like Brant Green's philosophy. He said, I'm going to follow the dog. If we fail, it's because of the dog. I'm going to eliminate myself from the equation. I'm just going to follow and trust the dog.
Yeah.
And honestly, you guys have tested enough dogs,
Mm-hmm.
Probably at least 80% of the time. I'd say 75% of the time it's the handler that fails.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, in real world, that's what you do in the real world. You just follow the dog. That you have to. So
And then tell her I'm doing this. Yeah. Yep. And if I can give another piece of advice, and this is something that John didn't do and John knows better. And this goes back to, give me just a second. Okay. This goes back to what we were talking about earlier with the Garmin. And when you're running these tests, treat it as a real track. Utilize your Garmin or your phone, mark your sign, watch and see mark when your dog's on the trail. I do it. I mean, I handled the third dog last week, and we were going along, and I knew, okay, we're in a straight line, and honestly, part of it is gaming it. That there's on that test, there's 3 turns. Well, if I already made 1 turn, I know there's going to be another turn. Well, if I already made 2 turns, well, now I made my 3rd turn. I know it's we're on the end.
yeah,
But you don't know that if you're not watching
your
your
handheld.
line.
Yep.
And like on our test, when we call you back, we don't bring you back to the line. You better know when your dog was on that line. You better have that line marked, or you're not going to know where to return to.
Yep. Just like real world.
Yeah. Yep. So, let's see. Perry Lawrence says, on my UBT3, I was nervous until about 100 yards in. Jet calmed me down.
Yeah.
Speaking of nerves, Perry came to the house and ran an off lead line with us. He's preparing. He's getting more into off lead tracking. Perry was nervous that day. So
it's definitely a learning curve when you go from being on that leash for so long to being off a leash. It's a learning curve for you and your dog.
Oh yeah. Glenn Martin says hi all. Hi Glenn. And Tommy said videos are reposted. A Facebook admin can save the videos in the file tab if you want. Appreciate that, Tommy.
Thanks. Yep.
Yeah, Tommy did a good job on those videos. I don't know if y'all have watched them yet.
Yep.
So I know, like, for Florida, I have the Hunt View card.
Yeah, me too. And Georgia.
But the other side of that is, they do get outdated.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to keep in mind. I seen there's a updated version, and I don't know if you can update the card or if you have to buy a new one, but
I don't know anything about that. I was a sucker and paid for the subscription and just download all my maps for all my states. Because we do Florida, Alabama, and then we go to Kentucky every year. And I guess I'm going to start tracking up there whenever I go because I helped somebody up there this past season. He had called 30 trackers, he said, and everybody was booked up. So 10 o'clock at night, we went and helped him recover his buck.
nice.
Cool.
It was pretty awesome.
Tommy said he missed what I was talking about an update. Tommy, we were talking about the Hunt View cards and how they do get outdated with especially the property owner info and stuff. So Walker Knight says, the first real track I put my dog on was gut shot with a bow. It ran over 1,200 yards. She was only 5 months old. I truly believe the deer would not have been recovered if it wasn't for her. I was very proud. Was also the first real track I've been on as a handler. Congratulations, and I do have a question. How long did you wait before you put on that deer?
Yep.
Popped in
I
my
asked
head
that
as well.
because of that 1,200 ran over 1,200 yards. That so this
Yeah. Either how long after
or
did you
did
put on
the-
it, or did the
did-
hunter?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I was going to ask. Or did the hunters go out ahead of you?
Yep. But for a 5-month-old dog to hang with the
Oh, yeah.
line,
That's good.
1,200 yards. Yep.
Those are
Yeah,
the
so-
best for them young puppies. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if you guys saw the message from Perry. It wasn't on here, but not only is Perry driving from Central Florida to the Alabama event, he is attending the Mississippi event as well.
Yeah.
I'd say he's hooked.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It'll be worse when he gets up there and he gets to start judging.
Yeah, Tommy said, and Tommy's just basically repeating what I said. If you want the property owner's names, you have to buy updated cards or pay the subscription. You don't have to have the subscription to download the map/satellite images. And I believe Tommy's talking about the Garmin side where the Hunt View is, you still have to buy an updated card. Perry said retired life.
Yeah. All right.
Here's Walker. Told him I wouldn't take it unless he waited at least 5 hours, would have waited longer knowing what I know, but I was very green, still am, but I've learned a lot from this page.
Yep.
And wait times is probably one of the biggest mistakes new trackers make.
Yep. And then you ain't got to be new.
No.
No. But as far as if I had to say some stuff that the biggest mistakes new trackers make, wait times is probably up there at the top.
Man, it's usually just because they're so anxious to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It seems to be even worse at the terrible 2 stage, that 2-year mark. I didn't have that issue.
Sure.
Yeah, I had it at 2, 3, 4, 5, 10.
The only times I will go before I want to go is if they have to go to work and they cannot go the next day or something like that. But I make sure and say, look, there's a really, really good chance we're not going to get this deer. You understand this, right? You don't have anybody that can meet me or anything. And if it's something I absolutely have to go on, then I will go.
So
Otherwise,
you fall into the trap.
yeah. I mean,
Because most
If
of
they
the time
just
they don't have
have
anything to do, they're using that as an excuse to get you out there.
well, I at least tell them, there's a good chance we're not going to recover it. So that's on them, not me.
But here's the other side of it, and a reason why I beginning to even push back more on those situations is forget about losing the deer. What about your dog?
Mm-hmm.
You're putting your dog at a much higher risk of getting hurt. So that's another aspect to consider, and that's another reason why I've been passing those off more. Yeah. Oh boy, Ralph's about to get in trouble. I had nothing to do with that. It was Jason Bell. I seen him text him.
No, it's my daughter. She got a headache, so she's got ice all around her head.
Oh boy,
it's like a
Oh
month.
gosh.
Hey, tell her to use your ice machine. Wrap it around her head.
Yeah.
Stick your head in the ice machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mitchell Smith said a good point on getting your dog injured. That's something a lot of people doesn't think about.
Nope.
And so many times that people have used that excuse, oh, I got to go to work or I got to go back home, and I drag it out and drag it out and drag it out and say, yeah, I'm on my way, and then I take my time, then I get there and I drag it out, and guess what? They wait.
How do you drag it out for 8-12 hours, though?
Experience. I'm on my way. 4 hours later, I show up.
You lie.
I drag it out as long as I can, and if they say, hey, I can't wait any longer, I either say, all right, I'll be there in just a few minutes, or I'll say, hey, let me see if I can find something and get there sooner. But I drag it out as long as I can. I have to, for the safety of my dogs and looking out for the best interest of the hunter too, without them realizing it.
We don't go on many early, but it does happen at least a couple times.
It does. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't.
Yeah, and I normally only do it for people that I already know.
Yeah.
If I don't know you, you can call somebody else, or you can call me in the morning whenever you weren't able to recover it.
And that happens a lot too. I go back on a lot that other people jump the deer, can't get it, and then knowing if it's a gut shot, I'm gonna find it later. And sure enough, we'll go back and find it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And on the
I hate it. It turns into long tracks, but
Mm-hmm.
all right, here's a question. If a deer was shot with a rifle facing straight toward the hunter, how long would you typically wait on that? I tracked for a hunter this past season with that situation. The deer was not recovered.
Can I answer
Most of
that?
the time, the deer is not going to be recovered.
It's either dead or you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
To me. I know that's not 100%, but
me too.
I
and if we find them, they usually have a blown out shoulder or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or just grazed right down the side of the body.
Yep.
Normally right there and just grazes right through the side.
Right there where all the lung blood is.
Yeah, I was gonna say that they have all that bright, bubbly blood, and they swear it's lungs, and they don't want to believe you when you tell them it's not.
Yep.
But I will say, I like to treat those as if it was a gut shot, because the times that I have recovered them, it's typically, or I should say liver. Typically it's a single lung out the guts, so I'll treat it as a liver gut. But most of the time it's not recovery because it's not a fatal shot.
If you got a good bad dog, it helps to me because I always plan for the worst. So I always think it's going to be front shoulder shot. If it's not laying there dead, which we would never be going on it anyway, but I always take it as it's going to blow something off and they're going to be hurting. They're going to be laying there. So I think giving it some time lets it stove up, and we usually will find it, but it's not always in the shape you think it's in.
Those
Well,
and
speaking
net
of-
shots.
Yeah. Speaking of Brooker, though, I tracked one with Sam, pretty much in Brooker. The deer was facing the boy. If I remember, I was 11, 12-year-old boy. The deer was facing him, and we tracked it. Went across a fresh cut field. I mean, just flat field. And we were heading towards a cluster of oak trees that was right next to the neighbor's house. And we're finding little drops of blood on this field. And it was just a little bit of cover crop on the field. And Sam gets up there and bays this buck up in the wide open field. And everyone's getting their phones out trying to video him baying. I mean, it was the best opportunity to get an awesome bay job on video. Anyways, the boy got to finish his buck off. He was shooting it facing straight at him. It grazed and singed the hair all the way down the side of the body and hit one testicle. But we were able to get it.
Yeah, that was lucky. He was just mad and ready to fight.
Yeah, and that's all it was. But I have the picture somewhere. I'll look for them and I'll share them when I find it. But you could see the singe mark all the way down the body from that bullet. And they had good bubbly lung blood. Mitchell Smith says, have any of you gotten with farmers that have permits for deer in their crops and use them for training in the summer months? That is how I initially trained Drac. Even going the next day, if they couldn't find the deer, it's a great way to get extra experience on a young dog. That is a great way. I do get to track some. John and I get to track some high fences during the off season. That helps. Plus, we run ridiculous amounts of mock tracks. Let's see. She was on it good at first, but after about 300 yards, she just sat there and looked at me. Yeah, deer wasn't dead.
Yep.
She was telling you. Mitchell Smith. Check the state of the laws in Alabama. It is illegal to touch the deer other than to drag them out of the field. I'm not saying I have or have not tracked them. Well, you don't have to touch the deer to track it.
Nope. You still get practice. Just like a mock track, you're not taking home a deer at the end. So,
right.
I would definitely say it's still good practice to do. And that's probably another one of those things where anytime you see a game warden, talk to them, introduce yourself, make friends with everybody.
Yep.
Because a lot of times it's up to the game warden's discretion for a lot of things.
Yeah, and that's definitely something you don't want to play with.
No, for sure.
I've had my share of experiences where they still thought they knew they were wrong, but they wanted to get their point across, and you got to fight it just to prove that you're correct.
Yeah.
Because if they don't know you, they're not going to go off what you tell them right off the bat. They're not made that way.
Nope.
Right.
I mean, they get lied to all the time, so.
And they lie all the time.
And get lied to all the time, so they get it from every angle.
Yeah.
So Joe Sellers says, typically on a UBT1 test, what's the age and length of mock track? How many turns? So with UBT, there's a minimum of 400 yards with 2 turns, 2 90-degree turns, and 1 wound bed. I have personally tested dogs on UBT ones that were 900 yards long. with our testing situation or our testing procedures, the ABTA started test is a minimum of 400 yards, a maximum of 500 yards, 2 90-degree turns, 1 wound bed, and 1 property line. Did I pass the quiz, Kerree?
Yeah.
And 2 ounces of blood with tracking shoes with hose. So speaking of that, it brings us into another thing.
Yeah.
When using hose and tracking shoes, do doe hose work as well as buck hose? Yes.
We track both, so definitely use both.
I can't tell the difference.
Mm-mm.
I don't hate to say it. I can't even tell the difference because once they're cut off, I don't know which one's which in the
Yeah.
freezer.
It might be stronger when they're in rut, but
Even then, I mean,
still smelling the same thing.
right. There is a difference. There is a difference between the front hose and back hose. But it's not enough to create any issues as far as training or testing. Personally, if I could train every dog with yearling hooves, I would. Because you talk about tough.
Yep.
Just far less scent. Back when John Vaughn used to hunt, all he could shoot was yearlings, so I was able to get some hooves.
My guys aren't allowed to shoot those or they get in trouble. We have a meeting on Saturday and we're going over that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard something about Blackwater. I know they shoot yearlings there.
Wes said you get a lot of those during bow season in Blackwater.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yep, for sure. I mean, if it's brown, they're shooting at it then. So
yeah, we my buddy shot one in Alabama on a management area. We got to the check station, and it was kind of my fault. It was the last day of the hunt, and he hadn't killed anything, and it was his last hunt of the season. He hadn't killed anything all year, and he said, "I just had a yearling come by me," and I said, "You didn't shoot it?" He said, "No." He says. He texted me again. It just came by me a second time. So if it came by me a third time and I hadn't had anything all
asking
season,
for it.
I said, I would probably shoot it. He's like, I don't know. It's small. I said, well, it's late season. You're not going to be hunting anymore. He's like, man, I'm telling you, this thing's small. And I said, well, if it was me as my last opportunity to put deer meat in the freezer, I'd probably take it. Next thing I know, here, boom. He says, well, it came by a third time. So we get to the check station, and he pulls this thing out. He comes walking out of the woods holding it like this. We get to the check station. He pulls out the back of the truck. The game warden says, I thought y'all boys was deer hunting, not rabbit hunting. It was bad.
There was one like that I found at the gut pile on my club this year.
Tommy, what was that?
It had probably just gotten rid of its spots when he shot it.
Yeah, this one that Travis got, I think it weighed 30 pounds, 35 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, well, you told me to shoot. I was like, yeah, I didn't realize what you were saying is small was that small.
Yeah. There ain't going to be much left of that.
No. So Tommy says, do you think it makes a difference to use a front and back hoof in your shoes versus both front or both? I don't think it makes a difference.
I don't label them that good.
Yeah, I couldn't answer that. I pack mine with a front and a rear hoof in one pack. and that's what I
Yeah.
use.
But I really
So-
don't think it makes that much of a difference.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people just overthinks it. Let's see. How many tracks will you set with a set of hooves before the dog has a weak response to the scent of the hooves?
Well, if you would get you a John Vaughn, if you just let him sniff them and check them for you and let you know if they're still good.
So what I like to do, of course, we're in a different situation because we train a lot of dogs, but the fresh hooves go to the younger dogs, newer into training, and then we use them. Well, as they get older, we use them on the more seasoned dogs. But to answer that question, in a training setting, it depends on the ambient temperature. It depends on how long you lay the lines. So the hotter it is, the less you get out of them, and the longer the lines you lay, the less you get out of them. I would say on average 6 to 8 tracks. In the summertime, and we're laying half-mile long tracks, we might get 3, maybe 4. You can tell. You can look at them and see the hair will start falling out, and they'll get an odor.
And for testing purposes, I believe we said we're going to do 3 per set.
Yes, and there's 2 reasons for that. One is we know that they're fresh, and another reason, if we see that we ran 3 lines and there's a consistency or a consistent issue across all 3 lines, we know that there may be an issue with those hooves. If all 3 dogs fail and it's for similar reasons, we can go back and say, hey, you know what? There may have been an issue here. So we are going to relay those lines and run your dogs on and retest them. So that's another reason that we do that. Cassidy Long said, hello, gentlemen, and Kerree.
Hello, ma'am. How's that new baby?
Yeah. I guess you couldn't classify Kerree as a gentleman because she's not gentle.
I know. Where's Lyle at? It's kind of quiet right now.
He's not committed.
He's not. He still hasn't sent lines in.
Has he spelled his name right yet?
I don't know.
What about those shorts? Did you see those shorts?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
If y'all have,
I think the Schmavis spinner has to have that on there.
Yeah, if y'all don't know what we're talking about, go on Lyle's Facebook and look at these Daisy Dukes he was running in. And he said he finished last, and all the other men were wearing short shorts like that. So I don't know if he was behind them checking them out or what, but
Them shorts was shorter than mine.
Ooh, boy.
yeah. I'm waiting to see the unicorn tattoo that he's getting.
Yeah.
But
I've never had a tattoo, but I might get the camo.
Oh yeah.
My daughters have been wanting me to.
Oh my God.
Hey, if you get one tattoo, you're going to get a second. I promise you.
You only live once, Ralph.
I only have one, but I do have to get another one because I have one boy's name on me and not the other. And of course, the brothers have got to bring that up.
I got my first one, and like 3 months later, I got another one.
Cassidy said he's cute when he's sleeping. If he's awake, he's biting. Knock on wood, though, he's been a good puppy so far. He's pretty unbothered and good mix of independent, but still sticks around you.
Yep.
Oh, where'd it go? Here it is. Here it is.
And he's going to be a catch dog.
Landon says need to check Lyle Levis's man card.
I'm not sure he has one.
Perry Lawrence says he got a whole sleeve after his first. Well, you got Camo, Icky,
Oh yeah.
Hawk, Potter. Yeah.
I ain't putting Hawk on me yet.
Brian says, what style shoe is used for ABTA training? I only have trained with a walking stick.
That's good enough.
Yeah, I mean, a stick, I actually like the results of a stick when finishing out a dog because it's less scent. The shoes, we use the Waskow shoes, Waskow, however you pronounce it. But there's nothing wrong with a stick. And I will say this, people talks about, rubber boots and, all these scent sprays and all this stuff. You cannot keep the human scent off the trail. It's not going to happen.
I'm of the mindset too. You let guys go out and grid search, there's going to be scent out there. The dogs have got to deal with it. I don't like that, just keeping every scent that you can think of away from it. I'm kind of the opposite. I want them to be able to go through any distraction they can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, and
some dogs can handle more, some can't, but the more the better to me.
Right. I just, and it's been proven time and time again, especially in the human tracking world. There's videos you can go watch on YouTube where they spray down with everything you can think of. They'll spray these clothes and then they'll bury them under the ground. I don't know if you guys have seen this video. They sprayed the clothes down with the scent elimination spray, buried them under the ground, and I can't remember if it was a German Shepherd or a Malinois, but they went straight to it and found it. So all that stuff is designed to catch the hunters.
Yep.
Yeah, just
Tease them into buying it.
mm-hmm. I mean, when I was growing up, we didn't use that stuff. We wore blue jeans and flannel shirts and stuff, and we just hunted the wind like you're supposed to.
Yep.
So,
yeah, you're not going, like I said, you're not going to eliminate it. But aging the track that's where aging the tracks are crucial.
Yep.
yeah.
Talking about
you're
that,
not going to pull that nose.
talking about that, I used to love to put stuff in a container. I'd put fat lighter in it. That was my favorite thing to do.
Yep.
Wes, he would take cedar branches and stick them in a sock and put it in the microwave for a little bit and then use that.
If the wind's wrong, it still don't work.
I mean, when does the wind ever stay in the same direction anyways?
Yep.
Well, not just that, we think about, we see people talk about scent drift and the wind and all that, but a lot of people doesn't talk about thermals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just you could have the wind blowing at your back and think that the scent is going that way, and when in reality it goes that way and it gets carried back through the thermals right back at you and go behind you.
And if
Mike's track is a good example of the scent not being directly on the line, because they were parallel in that line, but they were 40 yards off of it. Yeah, it doesn't always stay right where you put it.
Yep.
And I've had guys, if the wind's in the right direction, I've had guys kill, nice buck smoking cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It don't
My
matter.
dad always smoked. Always.
Tommy Jackson said, my pup had a health setback and wasn't able to do any training. Starting back up, she seems to not show a ton of interest in tracking. What do you suggest to get her interest back? She used her nose as her best resource for everything. Yeah, dog like Todd Beavis said at one of the seminars, dogs think through their nose. Everything they do is through their nose. Or I should say everything they think. They put the picture together with the nose. As far as
How are you laying your tracks right now?
Yeah, the big thing is make it fun. Keep it fun. You've got to vary it up. Yeah, you may have to think outside the box for rewards at the end that may get her back interested. So it's kind of have to have more detail to know for sure, but that's the gist of it. Brian says, do you think a dog trained on a stick will track better in real life scenario?
I don't think it matters that much.
No, where it's going to. This is my experience. Going from shoes to a single hoof on one stick, it can make a difference when it gets difficult. But even then, you can get the same results by aging, but you got to age a lot because the shoes, you're using two shoes, you are putting down more scent than you would with a stick. But I wouldn't say it's going to make a difference. I trained dogs for a long time with a stick, and I trained dogs with shoes, and when they're done, you get the same results. Have you all experienced the same thing?
Yeah.
The shoes are easier. I will say that.
I don't know if I've used a stick before.
I did for years. But the shoes are definitely easier. You strap them on, you walk. So a stick can be frustrating, get tangled up in vines and briars, and in Ralph's case, it makes a good walking stick.
The only thing I like about I say the only thing, but one of the main things I like about the stick is you can put it in briars to where typically you're not going to walk through the briars. Do some things with the stick to make it harder on the dog, while you're in the woods, because you'll find out whether they'll go through the briars or you'll make them go through the briars that way. And even like testing, you'll see that with judges. You can just about bet they're not going through the crap that a deer will go through. So a lot of times you can, like you talk about gaming them, sometimes you can do that depending on the terrain out there in the woods.
You better not try to go around stuff if I'm laying them, though.
I said some.
The finish line we laid, we went through some stuff and almost had to get on hands and knees.
Yeah, me and Katie Sanderson, we got into some stuff that we finally had to abort, and we both came out bloody. I think it was rough. You talked about briars, and one thing that we do, and Perry Lawrence got to see this the other day when he was at the house. His nephew's dog, it's a lab, loves playing fetch. It loved the deer hoof, so I was taking the deer hoof, and we do this a lot with dogs we train. We will throw that into the briars, let them see us throw it into the briars, and let them go retrieve it. Just as part of getting them used to going into the briars after something. Good question here. How do smaller dogs like Teckles handle very thick briars? A friend of mine is having trouble with that. They handle it great.
Yeah.
No issue.
They just bulldoze through it from what I've seen. I got to
Under-
watch Ralph's dogs.
It's
Oh yeah.
it's actually also we tracked one last year to where she was Camo was not wanting to go through the briars, and I use it as an indicator, knowing that if the deer went, she'll barrel through it. So I just skirted around the edges of the briars, and all of a sudden she just did a hard right and went through some of the thickest briars after being real passive prior to that with the briars. You know, if the deer goes, I don't think a brick wall will stop her. And so they're going to go where the deer goes. And I use it as an indicator, just like water and different things like that. They'll tell on themselves pretty easy.
Oh yeah.
So I don't see, at least my dogs, my little ones, shoot, it ain't a problem. Briars don't hold nothing. They don't care. If the deer goes, they're going.
Yep.
So I know every dog's different, but mine's going. I don't care what it is.
Yeah, Darren Miner said, thanks for the mention, Kerree. Feel free to give out my info or anyone can contact me directly. I'm in and out here, stuck at my real job. Yeah, we will be up in Darren's neighborhood in the first weekend in June. We'll be up in Pennsylvania at an event.
Yep. Looking forward to that one.
Walker said, I told him his best bet is to take his dog to Mr. Kinney.
It'll go through the briars.
I promise you it'll go through briars here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Perry said Kinsey just called. He's super excited. Kinsey's dog's here with us, and him and Perry, neither one of them realized just how good that dog was. Perry did a good job with that dog. And here's something for you. Perry said, we've only had him on a 1 hour track. So when they showed up, we had the track laid. It was 400 and I may be wrong, but it was around 460 yards, 440, 460 yards, which was four times, I believe, what they had ever put the dog on. And yeah, because it had only been on 100 yards and not aged very long. And, I always say people don't push their dogs hard enough. 2 days later, we put that dog on a 600-yard, 24-hour-old trail, and he smoked it. So that tells you we don't push the dogs. The average person does not push the dogs near hard enough.
Yeah. And it comes from you too. To me, people talk about the dog's interest and all. And to the guy that doesn't train or not around the dogs a ton, they don't believe that the harder the track, the more the dogs want to work it.
Right.
And if you make it too easy, they get disinterested sometimes. And I think that now, and I learned that from you, but when you see some of them problems, you start making it harder and they'll start working harder. And it just works out. I mean, it kind of doesn't seem right, but it does.
Oh, yeah. Make sure we haven't missed any questions.
Yeah, I'm reading myself. And I've got to call. I don't think Chuck doesn't look like he's on here tonight. Darby. I've been busy at work, so I haven't had time to spend much time asking. So I got to find out how many he's got signed up so far. Have you
Yeah,
talked?
I have not. Kerree was the last one that I know that spoke with him.
Yeah, I haven't. I can reach out to him and ask him.
Hey, Stacy finally showed up.
Woo-hoo!
She said, "Did you mention about final days to get in for a test in Alabama? I was at work and missed the first of the podcast." Yes, we told them the last day that they could sign up for a test, Stacy, is the Saturday night at midnight of the event. They could sign up for Sunday then.
Oh
Yes,
gosh.
yes, Stacy. We've mentioned and begged people to go ahead and get in, so it wouldn't be very last minute. But we did not give them a date. We just begging them to get in. I think we got 20 tests signed up so far that have paid, and we know 5 or 6 more were people that have told us they were going to be there, but we're going to pay when they get there. So we need to get that. Kenny, that's also, we need to get that list together just so she can schedule them, her and Kerree, because they got to figure all that out between the judges and scheduling. So
yeah, yeah, I gotta get Dakota signed up, and then I gotta get my let's see, I got the 2 dog trailers and dog boxes full, so that'll be like another 10 or 12.
You gonna make her quit.
we'll get rid of Kenny before that happens.
Walker said, John will quit. Walker says, I'm getting off of Facebook for the night. Thank you all for answering all his questions. Looking forward to testing soon.
Yep, look forward to it. Walker.
Yeah, Stacy's like, you're gonna make John quit.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to test a couple. But nothing too bad. Only like 8.
In Mississippi.
I may sign up for 1 or 2 in Mississippi, actually. Ooh, here's a question. When setting tracks, I like to create a figure 6 to cause a head snap on the dog. 1, so I can recognize the reaction and to see. Oh, hang on. I already lost Rod. And recognize the reaction to see if he plays the win or stay on the ground. I feel like the more creative this set is, it will put me more in tune with how that dog reacts. Yeah, you definitely want to do stuff like that. But the best thing to do is blind tracks, get someone to lay it. And probably one thing that I really like to do, especially seeing that reaction, that head snap, is have someone else lay the track and don't tell you where the hit site is. Give you a general area and do a controlled search with that dog, and you will see, bam, you'll see when it hits. So that's another tactic that we use. Giving away all our secrets. Not all of them, but. See, Stacy gets on here and she always comes at me with this crap.
I told you.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to do with Stacy.
Well, Ralph already said we'll get rid of you first.
Yeah.
So sounds like you're just going to have to be like, okay, Stacy, I got it.
Stacy, I'm not the one signing him up. It's John.
Oh, throwing him under the bus.
Or Brandy. So when they come through under Brandy's name, she signed them up. Blame her.
Oh gosh. Now Stacy and your wife are gonna beat you.
Yeah, I'm used to it. Y'all seen the black eyes and stitches. All right. Well, looks like it's winding down. You about killed John and Jordan. About killed myself too.
Yeah, you did.
We didn't even run all the dogs we took. We cut it short. I only got to test 2 of my dogs, and I was planning on getting at least 3 or 4.
Bring some liquid IVs with you.
Yeah. Brian said that's a good one. I use that tactic to get the hunter to believe in the dog. If we show up and the dog chooses the direction, I just ask for confirmation. And that'll bring up something else we say all the time. And I know those of you that are faithful followers of this, watch it every week, have heard this multiple times. One thing I do, because the hunters are always adamant, I seen the deer go this way and the dog wants to go that way. I just say, well, let the dog get it out of their system. Let's follow the dog. We can always restart it and go the direction you saw the deer go. Easiest way to solve that. Arguing with them never works. It just makes them upset.
I just tell them I'm going with the dog. You can stay here if you want to.
Yeah, me too. The
Yep.
deer always went a different way.
Yep.
I've had them sit there and argue. I mean, almost get mad. But
Oh yeah.
always turns out right, and they got egg on their face.
Yeah, I've actually done it myself. The very first year we went to Kentucky, I shot a doe with my bow, and I could have swore it went one way, and put the dog on it later. And as my dog's going, I was like, I didn't think it went this way. I just kept following the dog, and then bam, there's blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
They'll fool all of us. You
Oh
get so
yeah.
excited in that moment. You miss a lot of things and mix things up.
Yep.
That's for sure.
All the dog's usually right. So,
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, that's one thing I like about the smaller dogs. We were talking about this the other day. With a smaller dog or being on lead, you get to be more involved with the track.
absolutely.
You get to see things that you'll miss, like with my cur dogs or Catahoula. I miss a lot because they are fast and they blow through it, and I'm not following them step for step most of the time. I'm taking the shortcut, and you miss a lot of sign that way. And you miss a lot of good dog work.
Yep.
And that's one thing I enjoy about this testing is and judging is watching all these dogs work, and you're part of the track. It's the same thing with like my little dogs. You're more involved.
Yep. That is no question. I love it. That's why I like, especially if you like reading dogs. That's you get to do it all the time.
Yep. Kerree doesn't have a little dog, so
No.
Yeah, but she reads her dogs pretty good, so that's still, and they don't work extremely fast. So that's still
what happened on that season test about reading those dogs pretty good.
Hey, that's Jason. My second season test, I was reading the heck out of that dog, step for step. That was doing what I was supposed to do.
What happened on that first one?
I don't know. I let Kenny get in my head without doing anything. And I messed it up in the very beginning. But I failed at the truck. At the truck, I failed. I kept telling him, I'm like, y'all might as well go ahead and fail me because I've done messed this whole thing up. It is my fault, 100%. My dog started to go the correct way. But I thought she was trying to get in the truck because the truck was parked on the line and it had deer parts in it. And she went around the truck a few times and had started to go, but I didn't realize she was actually going because she had been so focused on that truck. So, you know, but after I failed, I let her go on and run it, and she finished it. But there were some other things that, you know, the line had been compromised. So we got a second season line laid, and we went and just blew it out the park. I mean, I couldn't ask her to run it better. If she even did get off, she literally only got a couple steps off the track. That was it. Bam, corrected like that. And we got to the scent challenge, and he did a big zigzag. And that was probably the coolest part of the track, because she was out ahead of us a good little ways. And as soon as she hit it, she got more serious, and you watched her work that entire zigzag and then shoot on with it. It was cool to watch.
Oh, yeah. Mitchell Smith said, I had a guy tell me there is no way the deer went to the river. Drac swam across and beelined out. I waded in. The guy said, what are you doing? I picked up a bloody leaf across the river. I said, going to get your deer.
Yep.
Done that many times.
Oh,
My best friend Travis shot one, and it was my bloodhound. Went to the left, and he said, no, I'm telling you, the deer went this way. He's like, look at my stands right there. I can see where the deer's going. The deer went this way. No, it went left. And we were 20 yards from his stand in the wide open. And he swore the deer went straight, and it went left.
I had a leg shot last year that was shot in the front leg and the opposite rear leg, and it crossed the creek 3 times. And the one time it crossed the creek, it was over my belly button, and that deer still managed to get across that creek.
Yep. It happens. We tracked one across the Swanee River. For those of you that doesn't know how wide the Swanee River is, it's in some parts it's 300-400 feet wide, and I've literally had the dogs cross them. Sorry, I got a text from Tommy wanting me to call him about it. Talk about his dog that he was trying to get interested in tracking. Wants me to call him, but anyways, we trailed the deer to the river, and Dixie went up and down the bank, and she went right back to that spot, swam the river about 350 feet across. So we saw her start working, zigzagging back and forth, and then she went up the bank. I look upriver, and there's a deer swimming across the river. She trails, swims right across, right where the deer swam across. Next thing I know, the deer's going back across the river again with her right on it. And they crossed that Swanee River 350 feet 3 times. Mm-hmm. And finally, it crossed back on its original trail and came right to us. And, so the first time it crossed the river, obviously she didn't see the deer, but she knew it went into the river right there. She knew. And she swam across, and it's a big, wide, deep river. And she was able to swim across, pick it back up. Watching a dog do that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you will think there ain't no way it went this way, and then, yep, it sure did.
Vicky Church says hi, y'all.
Vicky.
Yeah, I was wondering where Vicky's been.
Late to the party.
That's all right. She'll have plenty to catch up on.
Yeah.
Vicky has been
she's been working her butt off.
Oh,
she
yeah.
has.
Yep.
A lot of people may not realize this. Vicky does a lot to promote the tracking community. A lot. Every day. Yeah, so some of y'all may have seen on Facebook, we lost a puppy yesterday to a rattlesnake that we assume is a rattlesnake. We have a fenced-in area where we let the dogs air. Our personal dogs, not training dogs. That's beside our house. And after the hurricane, trees fell and vines got all along the fence. And Brandy put the dogs out there. There were 5 dogs, 5 of our wire-haired dachshunds. And she came to meet me at the dock. When we got home, one of the pups was dead. And Sue was guarding her, keeping the other dogs away and kind of licking her face. And Sue was very concerned about her. So Brandy got her, and I started looking, and I seen a puncture mark on the front of both back legs. And I immediately thought a snake bite. Well, I kept looking, and John actually showed up and got some rubber gloves, got on to me. He's like, man, if you got a cut and there is venom, you could be have an issue. Anyways, we found the puncture mark, and then John saw it. He pointed it out, and it was obvious once he showed it to me. You could see where the other fang grazed the hide. And so it was a big snake because it was probably 2 inches in between the fangs. So it was a big snake, and one fang hit on this side, one fang hit on the other leg. And she was bleeding from her rectum. It's pretty bad. And Otto was completely avoiding her, which I believe comes from that snake avoidance training. Unfortunately, Cora was too young. I can't remember how old she was, probably 3 months old, but we did lose her. And that was Brandy and Hunter's favorite puppy, probably because it's the newest puppy, but it sucks.
Yep.
But Otto he's had the snake vaccine and snake avoidance, and we will be doing it with all of our dogs now. It's just very important. Anyways, on to a brighter subject. Brian's got lots of questions. I appreciate these questions, Brian. If you were in a leash state, would you also train off leash? I can't imagine swimming across the river 3 times.
I want to refrain.
We
I
cannot,
definitely would.
Yeah, I would train it, but
Yeah.
Yeah. We cannot condone illegal actions. Yes, I would train it.
I mean, you may go somewhere else and track one day that you can be off leash.
Yeah.
And I feel like it makes a better dog if you can train off leash as well. Because sometimes if you are at the end of that lead, you can accidentally correct and not know that you did.
Yeah, the other side of that, and I think it's crucial that you do train off leash for recall.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to train off leash, because what happens if your dog slips a collar, slips a lead, you fall and drop the lead? You have to be able to recall that dog. So there's your answer: train off lead.
Yep.
Oh, Tommy.
Yeah, so I have a short lead that I like to use sometimes in the management area, because there's hunters everywhere. So I want that leash to be real short, about about 6 to 10 inches long with no knots on it. And sometimes I slip and fall, and with that short leash, I lose it.
Yeah.
It happens. I mean, you got to be careful in those management areas. There's a lot of hunters out there.
I believe it is called a training tab. So
she says no. Okay, so I'm going. You're going to get me fired up now, Vicky. If you don't train off lead, and I don't care if it's tracking or what, you've got to have a recall on that dog, because it's just a matter of time before a dog gets away from you. It's going to happen.
She's still saying no.
I know. It's going to happen.
I used to be a no person.
I tracked off lead, or I mean, I tracked on lead for years before I went off lead.
Yeah.
And my wife will tell you more than once we had harnesses fail. We've had collars slip. We've had accidents where we fell. So yeah, you need to train for it. It's going to happen.
I fell and my dog got away from me. It's going to happen. It is.
So, and not just, you might have the rebuttal of saying, oh, well, you can train just recall without the trail. You need to have that recall when that dog is locked in on that trail.
Absolutely.
Yes. Brandy, will you get your dog from barking? That's her big-headed dog, Jane.
She's toning it.
I was sitting thinking, Kerree's toning her dogs.
Just let her in.
Prowess.
Yeah, so that's something people doesn't think about. You can have a solid. So she says, I train off lead and have an e-collar on my dog, and I'm considering testing my dog on the ABT off lead. Okay.
Welcome to the dark side.
Yes. Next thing you know, Vicky's going to be making a video to teach how to track off lead in Pennsylvania by dropping the lead and letting it go. That's coming soon from Vicky Church.
Vicky, you can go off lead. You ain't gonna want to go back. I'm telling you.
So that was an inside joke with Vicky. There's someone up there that's and we need to be careful on what we promote. We can't promote breaking the laws, but you definitely got to train for that, because if you drop the lead or slip a harness or a collar and the dog is locked in on a trail, you got to be able to get them off of that trail.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vicky said, you just crossed the line. Oh, nothing like getting Vicky fired up. Garmin. I trained Brandy on a Garmin.
Oh boy.
Mm-mm-mm.
You hear that, Wes? You just got to put the Garmin on Kerree.
Yeah, he knows better. He knows better. I don't know if he's still on out there or not.
He'll catch up to it.
Yeah.
Dogtra. Have either of y'all used Dogtra?
No, I haven't.
I haven't. My apprentice uses Dogtra, but I think he's gonna go to Garmin.
Yeah. We have a judge in Michigan, Brian, which we need to get with Brian. I haven't heard much from Brian lately. But he submitted his lines with Dogtra, and it looked good. I just don't know the functionality. I know that seems to be a pretty common system used in Michigan, and I think it's the price point.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely more affordable. I just
Yeah,
it worries me that you got to have you got to have your cell phone to use it.
For that, because if it submitted his line. Is that West bringing the e-collar to get you in shape?
That ain't my house.
Tommy Jackson says e-collar works better on the woman than the dog.
You ain't at this house.
You guys haven't hit that high enough setting yet.
He ain't even gonna put the damn collar on me. He ain't even gonna try.
You got to sleep sometime.
Ugh.
So does he.
Yeah, true. Vicky said price point. And, honestly, I think the Garmin 10 can be utilized in a similar manner because it doesn't have an actual map screen on it. It just has the arrow showing what direction the dog is. But you compare it with your phone with the Garmin app and see the satellite imagery and map. So if you're looking for a budget-friendly price point, Garmin 10's a good option. I'm just a Garmin fan. They work. Unless it comes to boat electronics, I'm not a Garmin fan. But said, come to PA and we'll test this theory. Yeah, Kerree, come to PA and we'll test the theory. We'll put that collar on you.
Good luck to anybody that wants to try.
Now I got a challenge in Alabama.
I have some too, Kenny.
Just remember, this is all Kenny, not me.
Oh, I know. Kenny
Ralph's
always
gonna be the
trying to
one.
start something.
Ralph's going to be the one mashing the button.
Oh no.
Ralph said you're on your own.
All right. Well, before we get off, let's go over how people can sign up for Alabama, Mississippi, and Pennsylvania will be here before we know it as well. So you can go on AmericanBloodTrackers.org and sign up for the test. And when it comes to the point of putting in your address, the location, just put in your address and it'll show up in another box where it'll ask you if it's for an event and you can put what event it's for. Yes, Vicky said and PA, which I said and PA. Because that's coming up in Iowa September. So we got a busy month ahead of us.
Yep. Kenny, do you happen to have Chuck Darby's phone number?
I don't know if I have it saved. I believe I have it.
Y'all would want to. Do you have it, Kerree?
I do not.
Right. I'll find him on Facebook.
I sent him a message earlier. He hasn't read it yet.
Oh, about how many?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't need to talk to him then if you've asked.
Yeah.
Let me know when you find out if you would.
Okay.
Tom Hill said he's got it. I think I have it saved. I just I was
sent
rushing
Brady a message too.
Yeah. Brian says, bring a snake class to Iowa. My dog just discovered snakes. So we need to look at that option. I need to get some snakes. You know, if we can't find someone, may just have to do it ourselves. Like we need to add more to ourselves, but you know.
The mayor is on finally.
The mayor.
Yeah.
Who?
Jason Bell?
I don't see him on.
I don't see him.
It says he's watching. Did he get back off?
I don't
He's not very supportive these days.
No.
know. Yeah, he's there. Hello.
Yeah, he hasn't been very supportive lately. Talking about basketball games and
I think he was off with the wife tonight.
oh geez. Jason, he missed the training segment on the shot callers for his wife.
Yeah.
We got to get these people straightened out.
Well, I am going to have to run myself.
Yeah, I do too. I'm gonna forward you that number.
All right.
That'll
work.
Not a lot of people. All righty. Well, so don't forget we're at about 25 tests now for Alabama. So we're going to be shutting that down here soon. So sign up quick. And
I would
then-
assume we have availability for Mississippi.
yes.
Yes.
We have availability for PA. Those we're probably going to plan on running early morning and late evening in PA with it being June. They're not as acclimated to beautiful weather like we are. So
I'm not acclimated to this.
all righty, well,
Yep.
we
We'll see
appreciate
y'all later.
everyone. Have a
Good night, everybody.
Good night. We'll holler at y'all later.
All righty.
All right.
See y'all.